Tesla tricks the Canadian government into being nice, specifically to new Tesla buyers. It's a fascinating story, I have to tell you, and I will in just 1 second. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric. All right, that was 5 seconds. But anyway, welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, I love this story because, okay, so as you know, a couple of weeks ago, or actually 3 weeks ago, Canadian government announced that they're going to have this incentive program for electric car buyers, and this is across all provinces, and you still get the rebates that some of those provinces give you for buying an electric car. On top of that, you can keep that, right? So, but you can get up to 5,000 Canadian dollars if you buy an electric car. However, that car has to cost less than $45,000 as far as the base MSRP price is concerned. And guess what? Tesla Model 3 base price there is about 47,000 Canadian dollars. So none of the Teslas were qualified, which is kind of, I mean, I've already made a video about it, but you know, Tesla being the leader in the whole sort of electrification of transportation around the world, it's kind of weird that they couldn't spare a couple of extra $1,000 to at least let the short range, the standard range Model 3 qualify. So that was a bit of a snub. I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. I mean, I know some of you didn't agree with me when I said that, hey, listen, you know, it's the people who spend the most money on the new technology are the ones who are making it affordable to people who buy it later on. Like, you know, when people bought $600 iPhones for cash, they're the ones who paved the way for people getting them for free or very cheap later in the next few years. I mean, this is just how it works. So taking those people out of the consideration for a small incentive, maybe not exactly serving the purpose. But again, you can disagree with me. Again, I'm going to stick with my theory. But here's what the new rules are in Canada. So they're basically saying, listen, if this is 6 or fewer seats, the base version has to be a 45 over 45,000 under $45,000, but with all of the options, it has to be less than $55,000, right? So that's another kind of a caveat that Tesla kind of had to play with, and here's what they came up with. They basically said, oh yeah, you don't want to qualify us at 47? No problem. We'll come up with a car for $44,999, literally a dollar under the cap, and they are basically going to limit the software limit, the range, and everything else. They're just taking away all options. And the range is going to be 93 miles, 150 kilometers, right? So, and they just put it up on sale, so boom, go. And by the way, with all of the trim options and everything, the standard range plus is 53 and something Canadian dollars. So they are qualified there as well because it's under $55,000. So now, again, I just want to clarify because I had to research this a little bit because I didn't really get it at first, right? So all of the versions of these cars are qualified for $5,000 incentive as long as the base price starts under $45,000 and the car with all options still under $55,000. If that is met, then any type of version of the car you can definitely get. Now, obviously, very few people would want to buy a Model 3 with everything stripped, but on top of that, only with 93-mile range. I'm sure there will be a few people who will take it, but you know, but you will be qualified. But really, Tesla doesn't want you to buy that. You don't want to buy it. Tesla doesn't want you to buy it. They did it so you can buy the standard plus version because of this version it's qualified and you can get that. So that's an interesting trick that they figured out what to do. But even with that, you can still get your car and pay more than $45,000 and still qualified for the incentive. And I'll tell you how to do that. Before that, I just want to quickly remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Buyten. check out the Buyten and Buy that's coming to the US and Europe next year, starting at only $45,000 before the incentives, and over 300-mile range. If you haven't made your reservation, I don't know why you wouldn't. It really doesn't cost you any money. It takes about 60 seconds on their website at Buyten.com. Over 50,000 people already done that. You should join the line. You should join all of us. All right. The link is also in the description of this video. All right. So a Model 3 did end up being on the list right here, right? As you can see, right between the Nissan Leaf Plus and Toyota Prius Prime. It's on the list. This is the official list that you can see on their website. Now, here's the way how they've actually so you can buy the 93-mile version of the Model 3, and then because it's a software locked, you can pay more money, like literally the next day, to Tesla and have it all unlocked. So the reason I keep using the word trick is because literally you can bring a little bit of money to Tesla, or at least to qualify, and then the next day say, okay, here's the rest, and have that car have all these features unlocked. On top of that, now, so I don't really understand why that would be a loophole. I mean, it is, and great for everybody that Canadian government didn't think of that, but I'm also not quite sure. Let me show you this this graphics again. As you can see, because like, see, there's a Nissan Leaf and there's Nissan Leaf Plus over there. Well, it looks like it's not a certain model that gets treated sort of as one car model. Like the I don't even know, sub category of that model are treated separately. So the Model 3 long range actually is a completely different animal as far as they're concerned. But on the other hand, and again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, wouldn't a bigger battery, be just as of a trim upgrade as, let's say, getting a premium sound? Right? You can upgrade your speakers, you can upgrade your battery. But somehow, if you're upgrading your battery and you're buying the one that's called long range, that is a completely different model. And if you're going between the different quality of speakers, that is still within the same model. I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that Tesla is able to do this. It's definitely an interesting trick. They've done something similar in Germany, but here, because of these rules and how it worked out with the Model 3, is definitely borderline genius. Let me know what you think about it. I'm definitely interested to know. But I don't quite understand why the government left so many loopholes specifically for Tesla to do. It's the only company that can actually upsell and unlock software really in their cars, and yet they should have just set it at 47,000. I think that would be just fine. When I say $1,000, right, I'm talking about Canadian dollars. So, by the way, for some extra exclusive stories, if you guys want to get them that you don't see here on this channel, there is plenty. Go ahead and sign up for our weekly newsletter. There's also some exclusive deals for electric car related products there. Just go to e4electric.com/VIP. That link is also in the description of this video. And a quick shout out to David Tackus. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community, the only place where you can watch all of these videos live. And thank you to all of my Patreons for supporting and contributing to my independent YouTube channel. All right, looking forward to hearing your comments, and let me know if you're taking advantage of this deal over there in Canada. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.